and put my information in black and white. Because all of my years, I have been, educated and making my close family members and friends aware of mindset about wealth and getting everyone to try to recondition their mindset about wealth. So I know us in our communities, we are not usually born with a silver spoon in our mouth, right? Could we all agree with that? Okay. So my whole philosophy is simple. It's just because you're not born with a silver spoon in your mouth does not mean you cannot get one. So in our community, trying to bring awareness that, if you have an interest in, let's say, Jordans, the new social media, Instagram, whatever, why buy it? Why not own it? As in, buying the stocks of everything that you're interested in. So it'll be not just a buy, it'll be an investment, and you can have high ownership with something that you're in love with and have interest in. So that is my philosophy. I am based on this passion and passion, okay? So not just like this book here I wrote it to have a tangible product for when I go around and speak and do workshops and stuff like that. I have a tangible product, right? So I wrote this book one time, right? I did something one time, right? Guess how many times I can get paid from this, what I did one time? Unlimited, right? So that would be my passive income, because when I'm asleep at night, someone is clicking on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, anywhere you name it, purchasing this book. So that is
Black Dot Bookstore.
Yeah, Black Dot is a pretty Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. It's everywhere. It is in the college bookstores, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It's actually everywhere in other countries as well. So thank you for pointing that out. So that's the definition of passive income, making money while you sleep. So even when I was just in Puerto Rico last week, anybody bought the book, that was income. So residual, you have your residual income and your passive income. And I like everyone to know, especially if you have a dream or want to do business, make sure you go for it, create it, because if not, you're working for someone else and making their company, richer and things like that. And also, if you start a business, even starting off with a small-based business, you have, to take advantage of tax reductions and tax breaks and stuff. So a lot of that is in my book. It covers everything underneath the financial umbrella, from credit to buying, purchase, granting, different things. And I will definitely make sure that all of you guys get these cards. So if you are interested in starting a home-based business to help you with the tax bracket, you can help, yourself, give your own self a raise and give yourself $200 to $300 back into your check to put you in a different tax bracket. So I have a whole bunch of information. And of course, I have a short limited time, but make sure you connect with me everywhere. ShinyKey.com is everywhere. Google me, I'm everywhere. So I have a blog, Instagram, and visit ShinyKey.com. So thank you, Black Dot Bookstore. I love supporting my black businesses. So yes, make sure everybody support my businesses. Because our dollars only stay in our community for an hour. We have to do better. We are just supporting everybody and down our own community and everything. We have to do better. Everything that everybody else sells, someone in our community sells it too. Yeah. So just find out, and it's becoming more and more just popular to make it easier for us, because we don't know where to go to buy our stuff. There's about to be no more excuses for that, because we are coming up everywhere, right? A lot of stores and online businesses and everything is making it easier for us to start money in our community. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Let's give it a round. At this time, I'd like to bring up Javon Green. If you step over there, brother.
Thank you all for coming today. My name is Javon Green. I am one of the co-owners of Green My Kitchen, but most importantly, I'm your employee. I'm your servant, because I work for you guys. All day, every day, these books were put out for you. And not more importantly than us is for our children. Okay? So my master teacher once taught me that it's important to write books for a living. Excuse me, not to write books for a living, but write books for the living. Okay? So this is what I do. Okay? And my children's children is my debut book, and what came about, or how this book came about, was working in the bank for 9 years for JP Morgan Chase as a licensed banker. Started out in New York City. When Washington Mutual was bought out by Chase in 2008, Chase bought out Washington Mutual, and they asked me to come to Georgia to train Washington Mutual bankers how to sell Chase products.
Wow.
So this involved, business lines of credits, home equity lines of credits, all the way to retirement investment accounts. So I help people plan their estates in terms of, just the entire gamut. We're talking about wills and trusts. We're talking about annuities, mutual funds, sold it all. I had over $500 million in assets, through JP Morgan Chase. So what I saw was a pattern from New York City all the way to Georgia. Our people were making the same mistakes. Didn't matter if the accents changed or what have you. So I said there had to be something else, because I have children myself. I have 3. Okay, and I was making a transition around that time with my lifestyle. Our diet was changing. We actually gave birth to my son at home. So we were just learning a lot of other things. And I said, what is missing, that our children needs to have that's not in the home and in the schools? Because at the same time, we put our children out to school. So I said, I'm going to write my financial memoirs. I'm going to tell my story about my financial goals. And this is going to be a conversation I'm having with my children and their children. Because my father wasn't around to teach me. And then my mother had to work 3 jobs, just to provide ends meet. So because of all of these woes and hardships, I said, I need to leave them something that can speak to my story, so it can prevent their roadblocks that will surely come, whether it be IRS debt, right? Credit card debt, student loans. Never mind the fact we're black in America, right? So I said, let me just stick with the finances, because I know this. So what I did was I put a book together, and it's twofold. Once again, it's my financial memoirs, but it's also a guideline in terms of snares and things to pay attention to. And it's also my campaign for financial literacy in the classroom. Okay, I'm a serious advocate for financial literacy in the classroom. So that's what spearheaded this book. My children creating financial wealth, generational prosperity. Then I said, this is not speaking to the children, or what can the children do to create wealth for themselves, because we see young children and their potential, whether it be Gabby Douglas, win the Olympics. We see another young lady, she has a her lemonade company in Whole Foods, right? She didn't graduate school. We also see Mark Zuckerberg and Farrell Gray. These are young black entrepreneurs, millionaires that created the wealth. So I said they need something that they can rely on to create some type of a framework or structure to help them create a business. Because, for example, when I started one of my businesses, because my wife and I, we've been entrepreneurs since we met, and this is something that we've done forever. When she met me, I already had maybe 2 businesses. My first business, when I was 9 years old, my brother and I rented out our bikes for the summer to the older children. And we didn't mind renting out our bikes because we had our skateboards. So we rented out $2 an hour. It's partying $2 for 6 hours. And the story goes, right? And this is a true story. And I didn't know at the time what they were doing when they were on the bikes. Okay? And I wasn't concerned with that, but as I got older, I realized they were selling drugs. Okay? That's what they were doing, but I didn't know that. However, the main thing was I was able to make money. And the feeling that I felt, it might have been $80, $90. It wasn't a lot of money. I was 8, 9 years old. And I didn't know what to do with the money, but it felt good to have the money. So what I realized is, just like what Shauna says, wealth is a mindset. It is a mindset. It's a choice that we have. And we have to realize we have the abundance and everything that we ever will need to get to where we need to get to in our lives. Okay? So once again, these are just frameworks, so we can start the conversation. Because education is the very first step before we can even start talking about financial empowerment, economic development. Creating a framework for financial literacy. We have to know the difference between, the IRAs. What is a Roth IRA? What is it? Why are they important? Why is tax sheltering important? Why are annuities important? You know, why don't we have these conversations on a normal basis? You know, what is appreciation versus depreciation and what are assets and liabilities? You know, these are all things that we have to know. And once again, Shauna and I can have this conversation. We're talking apples to apples, but the layman, the average person that goes to a public school system and gets a job, they won't understand that. So they go to the bank and they give their money to the bank and then they allow the bankers to tell them what to do. Or they rely on their old habits. Their old habits from when they